More than half of Toledo's population faces multidimensional poverty, meaning they lack in areas like health, education, employment, and living standards, according to the Statistical Institute of Belize. While these numbers have improved recently, there's still a lot of work to be done in the district's most underserved communities. That's why the government of Belize has launched 2 transformative projects to help those in need. Valentino Schall, CEO of the Ministry of Rural Transformation, shares more about these initiatives.
Today we launched 2 very important projects with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and of course the Ministry of Energy and the UNDP and UNICEF. These projects are targeted at improving the quality of life of rural residents in the Toledo District, and it has to do with water and sanitation and electrification. Not just electrification, but electrification using renewable energy, which in this case is solar. We're going to target at least up to 6 villages with these 2 projects. 3 are targeted for rural electrification. These are Otosha, Mabilha, and Nalumka.
The 2 projects will start by improving water and sanitation facilities in 3 villages, with plans to expand to more areas later. The first project is funded with $1 million from the India, Brazil, and South Africa Fund, while the second project, the Joint Sustainable Development Goals Fund, is valued at $250,000.
IBSA, India, Brazil, South Africa. This is a fund established by these 3 countries to further South-South cooperation. So these are all developing countries, but they have pooled together their resources to create this fund, and so other countries like Belize can apply and access these funds to invest in development of local communities.
The project is supported by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, which has been working to drive Belize's development for decades. UNDP resident representative Michael Lund tells us what areas of development the organization is targeting in Belize.
So we have 2 main portfolios in the country as it is now. We have our nature, climate, and environment. A lot of that is what these 2 projects falls under. So there's both rural development aspects, but we also work on the more upstream, on the policy elements, on climate finance. What was mentioned, the integrated national financing framework, was focusing on climate. So also the upstream policy elements. We have the other portfolio that we have is inclusive growth, governance, and there, for example, we have a project with the judiciary that's called PACE project with EU funding that is supporting the judicial sector. Of course, the e-mobility is also a project that UNDP is implementing. So those are the 2 main areas that UNDP is focused on at the moment to help Belize.
Providing access to services in these communities is the first step to reducing the amount of people living in multidimensional poverty. And as Schall describes it, the work never ends.
The way to reduce poverty is to be targeted. And so from the statistics that we have and the data that we have, it's very obvious that rural Toledo continues to present a high rate of poverty. And in this case, multidimensional poverty, which includes health, education, employment, and access to basic services. And so we have been working at addressing this through interventions and working directly with the communities.
Britney Gordon for News 5.